Okay, we are. No one hears that recorder, and just it's impossible not to laugh at it. I'm so excited about this panel today. This is a really awesome story and a great product. And if you haven't heard of it already, which I doubt for this community and I doubt for this genre, you've not heard of it. But we're really excited to get into it. Before I introduce our special guest, before I do that, I want to let you all know that you have crushed our Change a Life item. We set out a goal of $50,000 for Indigenous women in Ecuador to change their lives by restoring farmland for them after a terrible oil spill situation. And you've stepped up and not only beat that, so 1,000 women will be able to move to spots where they can actually farm their ancestral land. And now all future funds are going to be helping with COVID relief in remote parts of Ecuador that can take upwards of 8 days to get medical professionals and take people out to area hospitals. So thank you so much on behalf of Misha and myself and the rest of the GISH team. Thank you for that. And you've lit the way. And in honor of that, and here's a terrible segue back to Christoff here. Christoff, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. I'm honored to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you because you are a unique, singular human. You've created some incredible products here for people that help change their lives in certain ways. It helps add a flavor and nuance to game playing, to the spaces that they inhabit, especially with quarantine. People are stuck at home. Christoff is originally from Silver Springs, Maryland, and currently lives in LA. You have a brick and mortar shop that's now popped up after tremendous success with your product. And you graduated with a theater and communications degree, and then you discovered you had a passion for tabletop gaming, which then led to creating this engaging atmospheric candle work. Can you tell us a little bit about this journey to creating this cool product?
Sure. Yeah, I guess when you study theater and communications at the same time, it somehow ends up as a chandler. I don't know why, but I guess those are the rules of the universe. It all kind of started with an intention of having more kind of control over my own time. Living in LA, it's frustrating when everyone else is telling you, you've got to be at this audition, you've got to be at this shift. So I said, I want to have more control over my time. How do I do that? What do I like to do all the time? And so I was thinking, I like D&D a lot. I like fantasy music. And I started to realize I like atmospheres. I like kind of cool, vibey atmospheres. And so then I began to wonder, how do you make a candle? And I don't exactly know where that like connection came from, where it was like, we're going to go from atmosphere to candles, but candles make a really good atmosphere.
So talk to us a little bit. So you were playing, you were DM, you were a dungeon master. Are you still a dungeon master?
Yes, I finally started playing more, which is really fun. Like when you're only a DM, you forget that like the whole point of the game is to play it as well. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, I still mostly DM.
And so talk to us about the candles and about the process of building the candles and how you, what options there are for that.
Sure. I'm getting distracted because this drip is intensifying again.
You have a drip in your space right now?
In this space, we've got this drip from the ceiling, which we were talking about earlier about how it's like the most GISH energy thing to ever happen in here. Just this infinite drip.
It's the ghost of Misha dripping somewhere. He's just dripping.
Yes. So ignoring that, you were saying we're going to talk about building candles.
Well, let's talk a little bit first about how you got interested in the candle making and what that process entails maybe, and then maybe you can take us through making a candle. Yeah.
So the part of candle making that I enjoy the most is the scent blending, and that's what kind of inspired me to focus a bit more on scents. There was a store in Burbank, I believe it was called Scent Spot. They might have changed their name, but they had this really cool thing. I know there's Felicia Day, she'd said it once on the vlog, where she went and made her own perfume or cologne or something of that sort. And that was super inspirational. Down the line, I went back to that store, had that same experience, and found that blending scents, evoking memories is such a unique and cool experience. So that was kind of the motivation behind it. And then the science side of it came in as well. I guess I didn't get a chemistry degree, but I've always had an interest in science and chemistry. And so it became, okay, cool, we've got this cool scent. How do we make it effectively fill a room? How do we make it last super long? And that's where the science kind of came in. I'm going to mute when
And
I'm
so,
not answering.
yeah, okay. So so you essentially build candles that take us somewhere, right? And evoke maybe feelings. I'm actually gonna, do you mind if I just pull up your website for a moment and just show off how you do this? So you have, let's see here, you have, I'm trying not to share my screen that's cluttered with a million things right now. Here we go. And let me just add Berto. So let's see. So you have, first of all, if anyone's heard of Cantrip Candles, you know that these sell out almost instantaneously. So you'll put up a product and then suddenly, boom, it's gone. Is that right?
Yes, for the most part. I'm very proud to say that since we've hired more people and we've got a bigger space, that problem is hopefully going to be over soon. Like, we've gone through a good year of putting something out, and then, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but I understand that it might be frustrating.
So as I scroll over these, tell me about some of the smells and what they evoke, and then can you just share a little bit about how you created them?
Sure. So one of the scents that we have is Walk in the Woods. It's a blend of pine and sandalwood. It's one of our popular ones, and it's kind of not, a lot of people think pine, they think of a Christmas tree. It still smells like pine, but it was inspired by going on hikes throughout Southern California, Los Angeles in specific. That's kind of the inspiration behind a lot of my scents. I'll just kind of go out into the world, be like, oh, I like this sensation. This is something that would also apply into the D&D world, walking through a forest. And then I try to capture it in a more specific way, as opposed to just putting the fragrance oil of the tree type that I walked around through. I consider the fact that there's soil on the ground and there's a lot of dried bark that's fallen to the ground, and all those things are creating smells. And so that's one way that I go about making candles, is kind of you start with the inspiration and then you follow that. The other time, though, you just kind of sometimes are mixing together smells that you think will be cool, but you're not really pursuing any sort of final destination. And that's kind of how Den of Thieves came to be, which is leather and wine and smoke. We were just mixing up stuff that I was like, this smells really awesome together. And then it becomes the game of how do you place that? What does it smell like that still is in the D&D field?
So is it a lot of like trial and error where you combine scents and try to see where it is, or can you now pretty much predict what that scent will come out to be?
Oh, I wish that I could predict. It is still entirely trial and error. There are some things that I've gotten really good at, like those two don't go together. Citruses and leathers, gross. It doesn't, yeah. I mean, never say never, but for my preference, it's not my favorite thing. Everyone's nose is different, but yeah, it's still a ton of trial and error. That's the most fun part.
Well, yeah, I would assume the sort of exploration of it, it's like feeling like you nailed something. Like somebody asked, Michelle asked, could you describe the library scent? Like, sure. How did that happen? That smells so specific.
Yeah. Library scriptorium smells like aged wood, parchment, and aged leather. And I knew that I wanted some sort of old book, sage adjacent sort of smell. And I remembered when I was a kid, I would go to the basement of my local library and smell these books. I guess we were foreshadowing, but I just remember the difference between a Borders or a Walden books and how those books smell versus a library where things smell very musty and moldy and old. And I liked that. So then I was exploring various leather oils, various sandalwood oils, and I found that some of them really ping on that paper smell. And so then it's a matter of mixing and matching until you get a cool balance.
It's awesome. I mean, we're seeing a lot of comments right now of, you know, so many cool things about people asking about the chemistry. You know, are you going to start a wait list for your candles? Is it tough to find the ingredients? Like, where are you sourcing these ingredients from? How do you find that stuff?
So there are tons of candle supply retailers and wholesalers that, and if you just Google candle supplies, start going down the links and find some providers that are close to you so that you don't have to pay high shipping, things like that. But I will warn you all, it it is the gangs of New York right now in the candle world, because there are wick shortages, there are wax
Whoa.
shortages. Because of the pandemic, a lot of people are using their skill sets in any way they can. And so people have got some good ideas and they're going to make some good candles. So basically, the entire candle industry is stretched incredibly thin. And some of the conversations that I have with like salespeople, I feel like a mafia person where I'm like, I need those 2 tanks by next week. Do you understand? But it's hard out there in the streets.
The candle makers are all gonna duel it out in the back of the schoolyard later.
Yes, 100%. The Chandler fight.
Oh no. I mean, I guess the other questions too is like, how do you figure out the proportions? Is it just trial and error? Do you have some idea beforehand?
Yeah. So in general, there is something called a fragrance load, and that's how much how much oil a wax can take on and still perform as a wax, meaning it will burn properly, it will melt properly, etc. Different waxes have different fragrance loads, so there's no one-stop answer for that. If you're using soy wax, stick to around 10%. If you're using paraffin wax, you can go a little higher. If you're using coconut wax, it's a little lower, I think, maybe higher. They're all different. We use soy, so I kind of focus on the soy thing. I find that it's very sustainable. I find that it's easy to work with, but I'm not one to rag on other waxes. If you want a paraffin wax, go for it.
Yeah. Well, would you mind showing us a little bit? Maybe we can take some questions while you're building for us.
Sure. I will go through. Now, as long as we admit that making a candle takes more than 5 minutes, we're going to try it right now.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Are we doing TV time where we like speed some elements up? Is that what's happening?
Exactly. Yes. So I've got my wax melted here, and it's when wax starts out, at least soy wax, it's kind of like flaky. Oh, come on, camera. There it is. It's literally just like white, flaky, oily stuff. When you melt it down, it turns into this really cool golden color. This is very hot, so don't do this with bare hands if you're not used to it. But you kind of, once you melt down soy wax, it turns into this pretty little liquidy thing. So once you've melted your wax, the next step that you're going to want to do is add your oils. And you might be wondering, well, what temperature am I melting my wax to? I think every chandler has a kind of signature temperature where they pour at, where they melt the wax to. If you're making it at home, just melt the wax till it's liquid. And like significantly liquidy. You don't want any chunks or anything. Then when you're adding oils, go back to that 10% assumption. So let's say you have approximately 10 ounces of wax. That means you're going to want to add about an ounce of oil to that wax, roughly 10%. So I've got a 6-ounce tin here. I'm going to fill it up with oil, or fill it up with wax first. You can't really see this, but it's beautiful and golden and liquidy and hot. Then pick your fragrance oil. It could be an essential oil. It could be a fragrance oil is technically formulated for use within combustibles, so you're supposed to use them in candles. Essential oils are doable. They're going to react slightly differently. They're going to give off a weaker scent throw. But you want to add roughly 10% to your container. So we're looking at, I think, 0.6 ounces. I've got a scale here, but I'm just going to approximate it because it's GISH, and that's fine. You're going to add approximately 0.6 or 10%. Stir it up. I'm using a Sharpie or the back of a Sharpie. You don't have to. And you'll right away start to notice the smell, because as soon as the oil hits that warm wax, it's going to pump it up into the air and fill the room, and it's going to smell all yummy and delicious depending on what you use. I use something, garden mint, a garden mint smell. So it smells very minty in here. Last step after you've added your oil is you've got your cool little wick. Oh, I forgot. If you didn't put a wick in, all right, that's still okay. If you didn't put a wick in already, that's okay. You can grab some sort of twine, or ideally something that's, wicks are kind of purposely supposed to burn well, but let's go with twine if you're going from something that you have at home. And you just want to center it in the middle. With soy wax, it's kind of harder to dunk a wick in and have it sit there, but with paraffin wax, it's a little bit easier. So find a way to kind of get your wick into the middle and find a way to stabilize it so that it's in the middle and pointing up straight. We've got these cool little wick tabs that are designed to kind of grip the string and hold it up straight, but you could use 2 pencils with rubber bands around them. You could use clothespins and kind of pinch them around them. You could use bobby pins, whatever your container size, it's all going to depend. But yeah, you want the wick to be in the middle. You want it to be straight up, and then you just let it sit, and there's your candle. That was the most crash course in making a candle ever.
I feel like I could go make a candle right now. Thank you.
You're all experts now.
Everyone here is an expert. And this is a spoiler alert. You're going to need this because you're going to be creating a candle at home. One of your teammates is going to do this. So who better to learn from than Christoff? We have some more questions too. I mean, you know, I had a feeling people were going to be asking about the business side of this a little bit because you know, there's a lot of people staying at home, a lot of people, you know, Etsy stores. We have a very creative, vibrant community who is very capable of creative sort of endeavors. Therese asks, when you decided to leap from one career to the other, what was the deciding factor, or where did you get your courage from? Or was it courage at all, honestly? Like that's what I want to know. Was it something where you said, this is something I'm interested in learning about? Like, how did that happen?
That is one of the coolest questions I've ever been asked. Real talk. That is such a good question. It wasn't courage. It was motivated for me by frustration. I was tired of my current situation. So it didn't feel courageous. It felt like it was a necessity. I think I've always believed this, and I remember my bio teacher in high school telling me this. If you want to pursue anything, you have to do it with both feet in. If you do 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it probably won't turn into something that you expect it to because you're still half stuck in your other project. That doesn't mean drop everything and go start something new, but if you're going to, really go for it. Like, I'm very proud of how Cantrip has grown and evolved over the last 5 years, but at the very beginning, it was me making the decision that if this doesn't work out, I'm probably gonna have to move. So you really have to go for it.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think, you know, especially in creative endeavors, we have choices to make. We have choices to make whether we give ourselves over to that creative sort of calling. We have choices whether how we're going to sort of subsidize that, do it in the background, stay up all night, kind of doing stuff. I know you sell physical product too, so getting that stuff out there. I know with us, we're always trying to sell, you know, something that people will want, and then, you know, the business and process of that can be really difficult. Shipping, customer service, and trying to get back to everybody. And when the world's shipping goes down, not the other shipping, not the like the shipping of character shipping, but like actual like physical shipping to, you know, places.
Sure.
It can be a real nightmare, really.
Yeah. Fortunately, part of the growth was finding a team of people. It's not just me. I'm alone in this big space right now, but we normally have about 5 to 6 people working in here hard. And awesome. You've got to delegate the tasks. I can't be responsible for shipping anymore because my little brain can't wrap around that many things. So finding good teammates to kind of help navigate this pandemic has been amazing.
Well, we got a couple more questions before we do this challenge here. Someone asked, can you melt in the microwave? If we are to make one for the challenge, I don't have a pan I could use that to melt in.
Sure.
And give up to the candle.
Yeah, there's tons of different ways to melt down wax. You could do a microwave. Please make sure that you're not just taking an old candle and putting it in the microwave, because there's probably metal tabs at the bottom of the wick. So that would spark in your microwave. If you went to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any sort of craft store and you have like candle making kits, you can melt it down. The tricky thing about doing it in the microwave is it's very hard to see how hot you're going to get it. You never want to, well, working with soy, you never want to have waxes higher than 200 degrees. So if you have a thermometer on you, make sure you're keeping it a little low. It's like butter when you put it in the microwave. It will melt very fast and then get hot very fast. So you got to watch it. I recommend for most people at home, the safest way to do it is a double boiler. That's also how you make chocolate. There's a big pot of water, and then you have another container. This is a pouring pot, but some sort of pot with another pot in it. You put water at the bottom of the first pot. You put your wax in the second pot. You put the wax pot in the water pot, and you watch as it boils down. That's the safest way to go about it. It takes a little longer, but you're not going to scorch your wax or like blow up your microwave.
These are great tips. I mean, I would probably hurt myself immediately. I'm sure. The closest I've ever come is the beeswax. When beeswax candles were a thing and you're rolling them.
They're so cool. I love beeswax candles.
That's so cool. Let's see. We got some more things. Suzanne asks about sensitivity to smells. How do you how do you sort of approach creating candles that are friendly for people with sort of the allergy or the sensitivity around smells? Do you have like them noted in some way, or how do you program around that?
I try to, so far I've avoided lavender. That's kind of the biggest conscientious decision about sensitivities, because a lot of people tend to be reactive or allergic to lavender. So as of now, none of our fragrances have that. As we expand and grow, though, I mean, the goal would be to encompass every sort of possible scent there is out there. So our notations on our candles are, they don't list every single molecule of fragrance that's going to be in there, but it lists the big ones. And so for the most part, everyone's nose is different, and people are going to be sensitive if they're going to be sensitive. People are going to get headaches if they're prone to getting headaches. It's hard to avoid that, but you try to make a spectrum of scents. You want to have some lighter scents, you want to have some heavier scents, so that if one person can't buy one of your candles, they at least can buy 3 other ones.
Very good point. We're almost here to the challenge, but there's a lot of people who are super excited.
I'm
to start
excited
making
for
a
their
candle.
questions. This is cool.
I know these are good. Well, here's one. Julie. Oh, Julie, how dare you?
What did Julie say?
Oh, she wants to waste scotch and bourbon. Okay,
In a
how would
candle?
you could you use liquor in a candle to create a scent?
No. So wax is hydrophobic and alcohol is a whole nother breed, and alcohol is super combustible. So
Yeah.
that's a bad idea. You don't want to do that. What you'll get is your liquor will probably sink to the bottom of your tin, and then you'll just have a unscented wax pillar, and then you'll get to the bottom and it'll all just light on fire. So that's a really dangerous idea, Julie.
so no, please.
So no.
Please don't. Okay. Could Ashley ask, could yarn work as a wick? What are our wick options? Because I know wicks are in short supply. What are our alternatives?
I wish I had there are some candle makers out there, or chandlers as it goes, that they wick their own, they source their own wicks. So they buy a big spool of wicking thread, they hand cut it, they hand tab it. That's the best way to go about it. It's woven in a way that it's going to burn consistently. It's going to pull up the oils, it's going to pull up the wax. Yarn probably won't work, but if you were going to try with a plate under your candle in case anything goes really bad, you'd want to kind of wind a bit of yarn together, because yarn is pretty puffy and thin, and a lot of yarns actually have like plastic byproducts in it. So you're going to want to make sure that you're working with something that's not harmful to burn, and that a good test for a good wick is find a string that when you burn it, it consistently holds the flame. It doesn't just either go super fast or it goes out really quick. You want something that burns for a bit and you can watch as it's burning along the string. That's the best answer I can give. The best thing is just get official wicks from some sort of candle supplier.
We've also got a lot of customers who are writing in saying Sweet Fig Farmhouse is my favorite. When can we expect new scents? Now they're hitting you up now.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a skinny on Sweet Fig Farmhouse. The manufacturer of it has discontinued the scent. So I was going to announce sometime next week that Sweet Fig Farmhouse, we have a couple more batches of it to come, but it's going away. But the good news is there's a replacement coming to take its slot. But yeah, grab Sweet Fig whenever it's available. It'll be available next week. We'll have more.
Awesome. Well, let's do our challenge, shall we? Let me pull up.
Now I'm nervous.
What do you mean? No,
I don't know.
Great. This is going to be great. I know you're nervous for.
I'm nervous for the challenge.
Yes. All right. This is for 39 points. An image. Cantrip Candles. Focus on creating immersive sensory experiences through scent. Identify a strong, positive scent memory from your past or a member of your household's past, and attempt to recreate the scent as a candle. You may use old scraps of candles or wax cotton thread or floss, a recycled glass jar or other non-conductive container, essential oils and non-flammable elements from your kitchen. Submit a photo of your candle with elements in the picture that indicate what the smell was, and comment in the comments with how successful you were. Remember, safety first. And if you would like to follow Cantrip Candles, Christoff of Cantrip Candles, here are some places to go. Make sure you do, because listen, if these things sell out this fast, you're gonna want to be on that social media and those email
Right.
lists and things, right?
Yeah. We Twitter's where it's at, to be honest. Twitter gets
Okay.
it first.
So, okay, you heard it here. Twitter is where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a Twitter account, just get one so you can follow Cantrip
There it
Candles.
is.
And coming up next, closing ceremonies at 4 o'clock, even though I know she's coming down. We are closing the hunt itself, closes at 8 p.m. But we do closing ceremonies before that because that's GISH. That's GISH. Christoff, thank you. And I have one last question for you. If you were to make a candle that smells like Misha Collins, what would it be? What would it smell like if you had to guess?
I wanted him to be here today, so I'm gonna say it's going to smell like someone you wanted leaving a taxi, you know, just like that smell of like, ooh, the leather of the taxi, but also where'd you go? I smell the outside wafting in. So Misha, we miss you.
All right, well, you guys are gonna have to get together and do a candle off at some point
I'm
here because
down. Let's go.
I want to see if this candle maker shenanigans in his bio is the real deal or not.
I'm calling a bluff. It's a bluff. It's gotta be.
See, candle makers all over the world. They're throwing down the gauntlet. They're going toe to toe.
Just one.
I mean, you tell me it's like the mafia, and now you're threatening my friend and boss. So I guess I have to set that up. Let's set it up. Christoff,
thank you for having me, Charlie. This was awesome.
Thanks for coming down, and thank you, Gishers. You have what, 7.5 hours left of the hunt. Get out there, get it done. Let's have fun.